up, everybody? Welcome to the first real series on this channel. This series is called Furry Reactions. We will be reacting to furry media coverage in TV shows, the news, practically whatever. Anyway, let's get straight into it with CBS Channel 2 News.
Whether it's self-expression or a fetish, furries are people who like to dress up like
And they already used the clip from the CSI episode.
Animals, and they're coming out of their fur-lined closets. Tonight we take you inside their secret world. You might be surprised, but there are plenty of people who are into a dress-up game for grown-ups. It may be
a dress-up game for grown-ups. That puts furries in a bad light. And with the logo of the episode, it implies that it's related to love or whatever.
Hard to understand. Tonight, Paul Majors takes us inside their world. Paul?
Well, Laura, we've all seen people dressed up as team mascots or Easter bunnies, and they usually have very innocent reasons for their costumes. But like some Trekkies,
that implies that furries do not have an innocent reason.
Some of these people take their fondness for make-believe to a whole new level. They're animal lovers, and they get a warm, fuzzy feeling from fur.
Fursuits are not about the fuzziness. They're some people want to entertain them. Some people want to make content with them. Some people just buy them to buy them.
They're known as furs or furries.
And that is one thing that most of them have in common. They like animals. Humans have been dressing up as animals.
That isn't even... Now, that could be a furry, but that isn't a fursuit. Try harder next time, CBS Channel 2 News.
Ever since there were humans.
And there are many reasons furries dress up.
I'm sorry, but that fursuit!
Pretty elegant creatures, and I just wanted to be a giraffe.
If I'm going to put this costume, I know the day is going to be fun or the night's going to be fun.
It feels so soft, and it makes people want to hug you and hug.
They must have asked, okay, who wears a furry onesie in here? If so, good job, you're on the news. Or they just hired some actors. I don't know.
How great is that?
And herein lies the rub.
Part of the attraction
that doesn't look like a therapist's room or outfit.
many furries have is their innocence. It makes them feel like children again.
That they keep... Show me a real fursuit for once.
And it's almost downright offensive to them to hear people talking about sex and furries in the same.
And another clip from the CSI episode.
Breath.
Sex therapist and talk show host, Dr. Susan Block.
And they even put the phone number in there. This episode is so wrong.
Understands why some furries rub people the wrong way.
The furry fetish is a little more controversial. When we see a furry...
The furry fetish. They say it like we're bad. They say it like we're not just entertainers.
We're getting images from our child.
More clips from the CSI episode. Why not just put the full CSI episode in there? Why not?
We're thinking of cartoons, and it's very disturbing.
I'm having a...
Again, those aren't fursuits.
little bit of a bunny fetish lately?
Well, we were kind of like snuggled up in the bunny outfit, you know, and just trying to get a little frisky, as bunnies do, you know, and it just kind of happened.
This is weirding me out.
And they put some audio from the CSI episode in there. Why not? If they want to portray furries in a bad light, just put the full CSI episode in there. Who cares?
Shows like CSI have featured this fetish aspect.
I'm out. I am gone. CSI isn't factual. Do I really need to finish the episode? Okay, I'll finish the episode. Someone said I need to finish the episode for YouTube, so here I go.
I think that a lot of furries aren't actually having sex. There's some that just like the softness of fur. They just like...
This episode is so stupid, I just want to leave.
how it feels.
Whoa, Nelly!
However, my
disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
feeling is, as a sex therapist, that they are actually expressing the sexual side of themselves.
They're actually expressing the side of themselves. Shut up.
Through being furries.
I just like a furry stuff all my life.
For Makiko,
Mimiko Fudgy Bear. That isn't even a fursuit.
aka Fudgy Bear, and her furry friends, dressing up in costumes isn't freaky, it's simply fun.
As a matter of fact, all the kids really like us, too.
Makiko designs furry costumes for members of a performance artist group called the Dream Circus.
See? They aren't even furries. They're an underground band. Get this right, people.
An artist. I make stuff.
I think as humans we're animals, so we just want to connect to our animals side, you know?
To these furries, the sexual connection is a misconception.
We've had people ask us, are you those other furries that are sexual? And I didn't know anything about it. We're not harming anybody. We're just having our own fun.
There are some...
He said, and I didn't know anything about it. He even said that they aren't furries. They aren't furries. Get this right, people.
Furries who find that they can express their sexuality best through wearing an animal costume. They really are rather repressed about sex.
And more CSI clips. CSI clips, CSI clips, CSI clips. Just put the full season 4 of CSI in there. Who cares?
Or they're very insecure about their appearance.
Have you ever tried to have sex with clothes on? It's not very easy, is it? Can you imagine doing it in a bunny suit? Doesn't really work.
How many furries are there? Well, no one really knows, but there are enough to have conventions. In fact, there was a furry convention just last month in San Jose, and Byron tells me another one is planned next month in England.
All right.
Now time for my accurate review without pausing the video. This video is absolutely the worst. This video is the second worst video I could find on furries in media. In media coverage on live TV, right under the CSI episode, which isn't even factual. Do better. Do better, CBS. Do better. I rate that video 0 out of 10 for I rate that video 0 out of 10 for effort and 0 out of 10 for facts, which comes to a whopping 0%. Anyways, my computer's about to die. Bye.